Welcome back, everybody. Today we have Alan with us here. Alan, describe some problems when you're first working with a framework. What did you experience?
When you're first learning a framework, there's a lot of overhead that you need to learn that's specific to the framework. I mean, it's not just like learning a language. Like take for example, AngularJS, right? Even if you are an expert in JavaScript, you can't start off right off the bat developing AngularJS. There's some nuances or caveats or things that are done differently within those different frameworks. Like for example, AngularJS has different modules, factories. It's interesting, like for some frameworks, in order to print hello world to display on a web page, you need multiple lines of code. Whereas like if you're just dealing with straight HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, it's pretty simple to do.
So for students that are just starting out into the world of frameworks and trying to learn their first one, what would be some advice you'd give them?
I would say first and foremost, you need to be very comfortable with the language. Each framework kind of usually ships with their own DSL or domain-specific language. But if you don't understand the base language, you're incurring a lot of technical debt, professionally as well as personally. As far as advice to extend generally to any framework and students jumping into it, another thing I would recommend is definitely do not be afraid to jump into the documentation, especially your mainstream or largely supported frameworks. The documentation is excellent. Take for example AngularJS or Ruby on Rails. You should have that bookmarked and always visit it. I mean, if the documentation is good, then most of your questions will be answered there.
So you've worked with a couple of frameworks. From learning your first one, what was it like transitioning to a new one?
Good question. So when you're transitioning frameworks, you don't lose all the knowledge that you gain from learning that initial framework. And part of the value of learning frameworks is that a lot of the best practices are kind of built in, if not forced on you with configuration, or with convention rather. And so you're able to translate a lot of those best practices to other frameworks, or even if you don't have a framework, you can build your application with some of those best practices that you learned from previous frameworks.
Okay, so learning your first framework might be a little tough, but then the slide is a lot easier for learning a new one.
Yeah, there's a lot of design patterns that are common throughout frameworks. For example, MVC, Model View Controller, that's something that exists across most of our front-end frameworks or full-stack frameworks. Okay.
So learning your first one might be a big push, but then after that, then it's a lot easier to switch to a new one and learn a different style of framework.
Every framework's different. They all have their different nuances and caveats, but the general themes and best practices are pretty consistent across all of them.